Right, okay, let's go.
That's it.
Welcome to the Design for Wellbeing podcast. Today we are joined by Oliver Heath, who has an incredible CV. He's an architectural and interior designer, a TV personality, a speaker, author of 3 books and a columnist, fellow of the RSA, product designer, thought leader in biophilic design, founder of Heath Design, architectural and design practice, and lives in an award-winning super home, which was sustainably retrofitted by yourself from a mid-century home. Welcome, Oliver. Did we forget anything?
Yeah.
Oh, no!
Yeah, I used to be a fire eater. A windsurfing instructor.
Windsurfing instructor, yeah, that's very cool.
Did you really? Oh my goodness, this is so exciting.
Nobody knows that. There's little secret things about me.
I had read windsurf instructor, but
Oh, did you?
Yeah. That is an impressive CV.
I think the most exciting thing, though, that we found is the changing rooms, that you're on changing rooms as a designer with Handy Andy and Carol Smiley and Lawrence Llewellyn-Bowen as well.
Yeah, well, quite a lot of people don't know about that show anymore. So
showing my age here, you see.
Quite a long time to get past that.
But I think
we'll do something else.
I think that's you've probably inspired a lot of interior designers there from changing rooms. I mean, I remember watching it and it was fantastic show.
Well, that was why I kind of got involved, was when they phoned me up to say, great news, we want you to be a designer on changing rooms. I was like, can I just call you back on that? Because there's a little bit of a double-edged sword. On the one hand, it was very populist and, a little bit kind of fluffy. And on the other hand, amazing, literally incredible viewing audience figures. 8 million people watched it every week.
Amazing.
And I just thought, what an amazing opportunity to get important messages about design out there to this kind of really engaged audience at the time. People really wanted to know about design. And I thought, nobody's talking about sustainability on TV. I'm just going to drop these messages in. So I'm talking about recycling and upcycling and toxins that we brought into the home and, eco paints and all that sort of stuff. And that was great, So that was kind of my mission from working in change rooms.
So how did you come about? I mean, you studied architecture, didn't you, at university?
Yeah.
And what sort of drew you into sort of the architectural design? Was there some defining moment in your life that you remember that you think, I must be an architect, or?
Well, we had a family friend who was an architect who lived in this amazing house, and it was a sort of beautiful house just outside Brighton, where I grew up. And they had pigs and sheep, and it was kind of part of their farm. And it was just sort of an intriguing shape, and it was just sort of this combination of a beautiful house and an interesting lifestyle, and lots of things kind of coming together from that. Plus, of course, Brighton is quite an inspirational place. There's a lot of frivolity in the architecture. We've got the likes of the Royal Pavilion, which is the sort of Indo-Chinoise folly, really, in the middle of Brighton. It looks like a sort of Indian palace. And then we had the palace piers that very much connected architecture with the natural environment. You'd walk over these slats and you'd see the sea sort of swirling beneath you and feel the sea spray. And then it sort of taught me that architecture could be fun, and enjoyable. And it was really exciting. So lots of little lessons sort of dotted around there, and in terms of growing up in what's essentially a heritage city, but a city filled with kind of fabulous architecture.
Yeah. So the biophilic design and getting involved in biophilic design, how did that first start? And what is, for the people that are listening that don't know what biophilia is, what is it? Okay,
so essentially biophilia is our desire to be connected to nature and natural systems. Because nature is a really powerful force for many people. It has an incredible ability to reduce stress and to aid mental and physical recuperation, and to connect us with each other, but also a sense of space and place. And it's something that has been part of us as humans throughout evolution. We've existed in very, very close connection to healthy forms of nature for our basic human survival, for 99.5% of human evolution. So as a result, it's kind of left a little bit of a genetic inheritance. We still strive to be in and around nature, and it kind of explains why when we go on holiday, or when we used to go on holiday, we wanted to kind of, we'd head towards the beach or the forests or the mountains, because that's where we knew we'd sort of experience the most sort of stress reduction. And as a result of that, come back to being who we are and recognize the most important things in our lives. So nature is almost a universal defining aspect in our lives that makes us feel better, gets us back to being at our best. So biophilic design essentially is how we bring those ideas of connecting to nature into buildings, particularly the spaces where we experience stress. I believe it's most beneficial. So, our dense urban geometric environments, but also the specific building typologies within it, be that kind of schools or homes or workplaces or healthcare facilities, hospitality spaces. And biophilic design looks at how we bring nature in to reduce costs, but also to improve outcomes.
Yeah, fantastic. And it's not just about bringing plants in, is it? It's not just getting more plants into your spaces, because we saw that you've the garden school in Hackney that you worked on, where you didn't bring any plants in at all, did you? For a reason, because it was special educational needs kids that are at that school.
Exactly. I think there's a misconception that biophilia is essentially, and biophilic design essentially like just bringing plants in. It's not. It's really a human-centered approach to design that looks at how we achieve the best possible outcome for people in buildings. And so it's about all those different patterns, as we call them, which are the kind of different facets of biophilic design, that we bring in to help deliver on the intended function of the space. So when you're in an office, it may be that you want to sit and work and focus. Maybe you want to have a quiet conversation. Maybe you want to be creative. So what is the architecture and the spatial quality and the aesthetics of a creative space? What is that? What does that mean to you, to me, to other people? Because we all have different approaches and desires and interests and aesthetic beliefs. But the one thing that unifies all of us is a positive experience in nature. So it's about drawing on those experiences. I believe that it's an incredibly powerful medium to bring into buildings, and much more than just adding plants and greenery. At Hackney Garden School, it was a school for autistic children, and because they were so fascinated with plants, they tended to kind of like just pull them apart. So the teachers told us that the children experienced a lot of stress in the playground, and then it was quite damaging for children to go out there. They didn't react very well to all the noise and the hustle and bustle. It was overwhelming. So they wanted somewhere for children to recuperate, to relax, to maybe be connected with the playground, but not necessarily be part of that kind of relatively chaotic experience. So we designed a little room next to this playground that afforded the children views out onto it, window seats that allowed them to look onto the playground without being surrounded by it, but also little niches where they could sit and recuperate. And dotted in amongst that space were little interactive features where the children could touch and feel interactive features. And there was a sort of little cause and effect in these interactive features, where they'd press a button that was kind of filled with artificial grass or stones or pebbles or leaves, and then the lights above them would change, and then there were noises projected, the noises of nature. So it was a tiny little project, but a really lovely one.
A full kind of sensory experience.
Yeah.
Exactly. Yeah, a lot of our work really looks at the senses and how those senses inform our experience of space, and how we can touch, literally, quite physically, nature in all sorts of different ways and enhance that experience of space.
And it's interesting that, because we follow you on Instagram, and at the moment you're doing a lot about work from home, aren't you? And giving some great advice about how people can have their office set up now that everybody's working from home. Well, majority of people are working from home. And again, you've talked about the senses, and can you just talk about that, and what do you recommend? What sort of senses do you smell, sense?
Well, firstly, just going back to that working from home thing, I think before the current